Hey, everybody. Whitney here with a Divine Feminine solo episode. And today I want to talk about the idea of following your truth. So, what do I mean by this? A word that I've come to really connect with and to utilize in my work and my focus, particularly with Women Awaken, is this idea of sovereignty and our sovereign truth. So what does that mean? So a sovereign being is one that is autonomous, right? That is able to think and create and gain understanding from within, from their own understanding, right? Free from influence and free from anyone else's concepts or ideas. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with communicating with others and exploring with others different ideas and concepts. Yet, especially in this day and age, sovereignty and sovereign truth is extremely important because we are at a point where we are surrounded and encompassed by systems that no longer are functional, if they ever were, and that are not serving us. They don't work for us as a society, as a species, for the planet. Most of our systems are not working for us. Yet we follow suit. We stay within them because we're given a lot of messages about this is the way it is. And this is the story, and this is the history, and this is the future of these things. We are able to recreate our world at any time. We live by the rules that we've created. We can make new rules and parameters to work within. If people do not step forward with new ideas that come from their personal truth, from their sovereign truth, from concepts that they believe in, then nothing changes. If we continue to agree with what is, which is not working for us, we're going to continue to have what is that will continue not to work for us and continue to be dysfunctional. So the power of following your truth means it doesn't matter if everybody disagrees with you. It doesn't matter if nobody believes in you. If you have a knowing, if you believe that something you hold is truth, that something can be, that something can shift, that something can change, that something can be created and exist that doesn't exist yet, go with that. There are many facets to what I'm speaking of, because knowing your truth also means not overly questioning ourselves when it comes to what people tell us about ourselves or situations. When we get into an argument, a disagreement, a challenging situation with a partner or in a friendship or at work or within our family, we always want to reflect, right? We want to have personal awareness. Yet if we hold a truth that we know is accurate and is our personal truth, we don't want to be swayed by others who are going to try to tell us that our truth is not real, right? This is kind of alluding to the idea of gaslighting, right? Where we know deep down, we have a knowing that this is what is so, this is what happened, this is my feeling. And somebody tries to challenge that and tries to make us to believe that, no, that's not what happened. That's not the case. Now, everything is not gaslighting. We want to be careful. That term has become a hot topic, hot term. Like a lot of different things these days, everything becomes a buzzword, and then there's a million TikToks on it, and suddenly everybody's accusing everybody of everything. But knowing your truth is different because it pertains to all these different arenas, whether it's something you believe in that can exist and that can be put into place in this world, or even just in your work, in your family, in a relationship, then speak to it. Even if it seems like others don't believe in it or don't agree with it, if nobody comes forward with what they believe in, nothing changes. We all just keep falling in line with what is. But again, this is a crucial moment in the history of humanity because we're reaching this fever pitch of recognizing that the way we're doing things isn't working, as I spoke to before. So what do we need? We need innovative ideas, and not just innovation in terms of technology. We have a ton of technology. My thought is that what we need is heart. We need to get back to our souls. That's what we're losing. That's what we're missing. And that's the whole picture. That's the only thing that ever matters is our soul. That's the whole reason we're here. When we think that we're just innovators for technology and the way that we can create various games and solutions to make our life more efficient and quicker and faster and make us more money and success, we've lost the plot, right? The only thing that we're ever really here for is the soul's experience. The soul is holding this experience for us. It's creating this experience for us, right? I mean, you may not agree, and that's okay. That has come to me, my understanding, my knowing, my truth, right? When I had this inspiration to focus on the divine feminine, I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know why I was getting it. But the more I followed with it, it's because I recognized that it's my soul's guidance, that it's my soul's time during this lifetime to recognize an understanding about the ultimate truth about life and reality and why we're here. And again, it's not just to make money and to get married and to get a house and to be successful. Any of those things are fine. Those aren't not bad things. But when we put all our stock in those things, we lose touch again with what's real. So back to knowing and following our own truth. If we do not do so, then we are susceptible to living other people's truth. And then again, the storyline just continues about this is life. Welcome to the world. This is what you have to do. This is what you need. Is that true? I just did an episode about asking yourself that. When anybody in the world tells you that this is just the way things are, you can discover your truth by asking that question first. Is that true? Is it really true that this is the way it has to be? Is it true that this isn't possible? That will never happen? Do you know that most of the most successful, predominant, well-known innovators who first pronounced their ideas into the world were told, that's crazy. That's a ridiculous idea. You're daydreaming. Go back to your job at the mill, at the drugstore, on the farm. Nothing wrong with those professions, but people throughout history have said, I see something. I believe that this is possible. Whether it was the first automobile or the first airplane, right? The first spaceship, the first telephone, any of these innovations that change the way we live was once just an idea that someone held true in their heart and said, I believe in this. I don't know why, but I know that this is possible. When you know something, it's coming from your soul. Your soul's emphasis is always correct. What you know to be your truth is your soul inspiring you to say, yes, of course it's possible. Anything is possible, right? And innovations, not just, of the technological kind, but also people who said, there's a way to heal. We don't have to live with devastating trauma that leads us to a life of suffering and seeking means outside of ourselves to soothe ourselves and feel better and escape this turmoil. People begin thinking like, maybe there's a way. Maybe it has to do with something in our minds and something in our emotional bodies and in our physical bodies, right? That's where healing innovators came through. People who began working with energy, and people said, you're crazy. What are you talking about? You're working with shit that you can't see. That's ridiculous. Know your truth. If you have an idea, if you have something that has never left your heart, this concept, this dream, follow it. Follow your truth. If you have friendships or relationships where you don't, for some reason, you don't feel right in it, you don't feel seen, you don't feel safe, you don't feel heard, you feel consistently not great around that person, yet people tell you, oh, what are you talking about? You guys are best friends. Like, just, get over it. Oh, what are you talking about? That's your brother, your sister, your mom. Like, of course you guys are fine. But in your heart, you say, I don't feel right in this situation. And again, you can check in with yourself, right? We want to look at ourselves and take accountability. If you're having a conflict with someone, you can say, what is my part? Okay, I recognize that maybe I did this. I wasn't in greatest standing with this, but that doesn't mean that this connection or friendship doesn't feel like the highest for me, for the highest good, for my highest expression, experience, right? There comes a time throughout our life that people who have been in our life previously no longer really align with who you're becoming or what your focus is. And that can kind of manifest as consistent conflict. You might find yourself being uncomfortable or irritable in their presence. And again, you got to check in and be like, is it me? What's going on with me? What is this disturbance telling me? And sometimes it's because they're exhibiting behavior that you know in yourself and it bothers you, but it could also just be your energetic body kind of trying to shake it off and say like, ugh, maybe this person feels like they're using me, or they don't really respect me, or they don't really see me for who I am, or they have alternative motives, or they're manipulative. Whatever it might be, know your truth and take the time. We don't want to be too swift to just make accusations or make big claims or cut people out of our life. We want to do it mindfully. So we continue. The truth is consistent, right? If the question comes up, how do I know what my truth is? It's something that doesn't have to be forced. It's something that you've just always felt. It's something that you keep coming back to, right? Okay, I continue to try to work things out with this person, but I consistently just don't feel right with them. And as much as they tell me that they love me and they want to be with me, something just doesn't feel right. Or a creative pursuit where you say, gosh, everybody keeps telling me to go to college and get this degree, but I feel like I'm meant for something else. I don't feel like I have to go that route that everybody says you have to go. Because again, there's so many rules and regulations and guidelines and expectations in our society about how things are supposed to be done. But the only way things change is when more and more people start blazing their own trail, right? When people start making their own path and saying, I don't care. I don't care that I'm told that I have to go this way or that this isn't possible according to most people. I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. Because in my heart, I feel it is possible. In my heart, I feel like it's what I'm meant for. And again, if we don't explore these ideas, then everything just stays the same, right? I mean, think about women, 50 years ago, before we even had the ability to vote, right? And wait, it's more than that, 100 years ago. Go back over 100 years when women didn't even have the right to vote. And if no one had challenged that and said, that doesn't feel right to me. There's something in me that says women should absolutely be allowed to vote and should have a place in political arenas, in business arenas. If everyone had just stayed quiet about it and not spoken up about the truth in their heart, nothing would have changed. Change happens because people speak up, they speak forward, they come forward with what's inside of them. It's also very concerning when we question our truth, right? When we question, I have this idea, I have this thought, I have this sense, I have this feeling, but I don't know if I can trust it. I don't know if it's safe to follow it. Do it. More than ever, it's time to do it, because it will also always lead you to what is best for you. Because I'm not talking about the nagging voice in your head. And now I'm kind of, blurring the lines between your truth and your intuition, but they are one and the same. I feel like your truth, I see it as almost like this gem in your heart, and your intuition is that which like radiates off of it. That's kind of like whispering to you through messages, through your mind, through your feeling body, through what you see. And it's trying to tell you like, hey, check in with this. Come, dig out this gem, this jewel in your heart, because it wants to come forth into the world. And everybody might tell you that you're crazy, but who cares if it's true for you, right? So I just wanted to offer this message because, again, I think it's a time of great change. More and more people are stepping forward with less conventional ideas. And sure, some of them get raked over the coals. They lose friends, they lose family members. But again, that's why why I'm encouraging to follow your truth, no matter what it means. Even if you lose people that you love, is it worth having people who say they love you, but don't actually support what's true for you? Right? That's like an abuser in an abusive relationship who claims they love you and they support you, but they tell you, don't you ever tell anybody about those times that I've hurt you. Otherwise I'll kill you, or otherwise I will, hurt you more. Do whatever it is. Is it worth it to stay silent? To protect somebody who's not interested in your highest good or your safety or your well-being? we reach a certain point where we have to let go or we stay stuck, right? If we decide to stay at a place where we don't, make anybody feel uncomfortable or ruffle any feathers, then we stay small. But if your heart is calling to you, if it's sharing a truth with you that it is yearning to come out and be expressed, whether it's through releasing people from your life, breaking out of a relationship, leaving a job that you don't love, pursuing something that you do love, that you feel a creative draw towards, that you feel the emphasis of your soul calling you towards, there comes a time where you recognize, this is my life. This is my life. And I either get to choose to stay in an unsatisfying place where I have to hide who I am, or I can say, forget it. I'm not doing that. I want to see what's out there. I want to see what happens when I act on this whim, on this truth, on this inspiration that wants to come through. Because I don't want to deny what's in my heart. And I don't want to try to just fit in with others who are probably scared as well to step forward. Or maybe they just don't have any inspiration. Maybe they're so caught up, because in order to, if you're feeling that call, if you're having this truth kind of swelling in your heart and your being and your soul, it's because you've begun the work of connecting with that, with who you truly are, which is so much bigger than how you show up in this lifetime. I'll tell you that much, right? Who we are in this lifetime is this one tiny facet of this big, giant expression that we are, that is our personality, our being, our soul, our heart, all these things. We're like this little sliver that's being expressed in this lifetime, but it's for a reason. We keep waking up every morning as this expression and version for a reason. We wouldn't if it wasn't important. We wouldn't unless our soul absolutely fundamentally wanted to be here. And again, I promise you, your soul did not absolutely fundamentally want to be here to just fall in line and follow suit. The soul is always looking for its own evolution, its own growth. And so are you, because you are your soul. You are a physical expression of your soul. And all of us showing up here are here now because Earth and humanity is at a pivotal point where if we don't change, we're going to find ourselves in increasingly worse circumstances that become increasingly unpleasant for all of us. And if more of us don't listen to our truth and speak up, nothing changes. And if you're listening to this and you feel called to it, it's because you have a message in your heart that wants to come out. You have an idea that's pivotal to the future of humanity. That's the time we're in. As challenging as it is, it's just as exciting at the same time. We're at a revolutionary turning point, and you are a part of it. If you have ears to hear, if this message reaches you, if it moves you, it's because you have that same stirring inside you that says, it's so easy to get caught up in all this noise and all these messages of our society nowadays. But if I close my eyes and go within, I feel something different that wants to come through. Something that other people aren't saying, something that other people aren't doing, something that other people might scorn or laugh at or mock, but is it worth it to keep it hidden away? There's a beautiful quote that says, and the day came when the risk to blossom became less painful than staying tight in a bud. I always mess up these quotes. That the risk to blossom was less scary than the pain to stay tight in a bud. It's by Anais, I believe is the name. I'll put it in the show notes. But my point is that if you're feeling that discomfort and pain of staying constricted and coiled up in that little bud, because your heart and soul want so much to be ready to blossom, then the risk it took to bloom, that's what she says. The feeling of staying tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to bloom or blossom. So maybe it's your time to blossom, and each petal is your truth. When you open up like a flower, you're sharing your truth from your soul, from your heart, and others might not agree with it, but it's true for you. And when you make fundamental changes in your life that other people might question, that other people might criticize you for, but you've checked in with yourself, right? You've looked into your truth. You've taken survey of it. You said, okay, what is my part in this? Right? My partner in a fight. And sometimes they put all the blame on me. Okay, I see my part in it, but I don't think that that justifies the reciprocated poor treatment. And also there's a recognition that in friendships and within your family and in partnerships, sometimes two people just bring out the worst in each other. And often it doesn't mean that you have to cut them out of your life, but it might mean that you need some space from them. Because maybe you have some stuff to resolve, or they have some stuff to resolve, or maybe you are shifting into a new experience of life that just isn't matched up with these people anymore. Time will tell, but honor yourself enough to trust your truth that says, this is not good for me right now. And I need to honor myself first. And my truth is that I need to move on, move away without them. Honor your truth, follow your truth. Blaze your own path. Be a trailblazer. Forge your own path. By doing so, we inspire others. The world can change pretty quick when people let go of fear and one person leads, for example, and then the next person, the next, and then all of a sudden, everything's changing and things that we thought were impossible are now in place and are seen and proven to be possible because everything is possible. Everything is possible in the infinite universe in which we live. Everything. But we still live in this world that tells us constantly about what is and isn't possible and what is and isn't so. So sometimes we have to shut out the noise because our world has gotten so noisy with our constant access to social media and the internet and information. And it's just this whole buzz and everybody's talking all at once. So many different ideas and concepts, and some of them are wonderful, but some of them just make us more and more confused. So look to your own truth and see how you feel. That's another aspect of following your truth, is saying, wow, I'm trying to figure out how to navigate whatever it might be. Maybe it's a breakup and this person's saying this and that person's saying this, and it's all just making me overwhelmed. And I need to just be in silence and see what's in my heart. What is my truth around this experience? What's my truth around how I will heal? What's my truth around how to move forward? What's my truth about who I truly am? Because people often will live their whole lives with everybody telling them who and what they are. And we take that message to heart. But it's not our actual truth about ourselves. Only we can know that. And it takes courage and bravery to recognize that and throw off the boughs of the ideas and concepts of ourselves that people have told us, and look to our own truth. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope it inspired somebody to look to their truth and to get excited. Maybe you are a revolutionary person, a revolutionist, revolutionary. Maybe you are someone who's going to shake things up, who's going to introduce something that everyone's going to think is crazy, but one day everybody's doing it. I think so. I think there's a lot of us out there who are ready. All right, everybody. This is the Divine Feminine solo episode. So I'm going to pull a card for you all from the Nature Whispers Oracle card. So let's see what card wants to come out for the highest good and greatest guidance of everyone listening. All my little revolutionarists. I'm going to go look it up. I guess we just call ourselves revolutionary people. The innovators. The dream weavers. Okay. Ooh, and wouldn't you know, I got card number 36, intuition. So I was saying that as I was speaking, the lines were being blurred a little bit, right? Between what's your truth and what your intuition is telling you. And it's because they're one and the same. Your intuition is, and this card I'm holding, her head is like a giant garden of beautiful flowers. And it has this shimmering light just radiating out of it. Almost like I was saying, like your intuition is like it comes from this hub that is your truth, right? It's like her head is the truth and radiating out of it is her intuition. So beautiful. Number 36, card number 36. So that might be important. Let me read this description to you for intuition. You just seem to have a knack for knowing what's going to work. Your creative process is unique to you. You just get started and magic happens. You have a lot of endurance and you're a hard worker. Once you get focused on a project, you don't stop. You are a trend setter and you seem to understand what people love. You are very forward thinking. You are being reminded that you have your own inner voice guiding you always. Tap into your wisdom and allow yourself this higher perspective. Woo, see? Change makers, shot callers, innovators. This is you. Like I was saying, you're forward thinking, your inner voice guiding you. I often say in this show, you are your own greatest source of wisdom. Wisdom and truth also go hand in hand. Your wisdom is that voice that says, I don't need anybody else to tell me what's true for me. I don't need anybody else to approve of this belief I have, of this truth that I hold, because I know that it's possible. Your wisdom is just when you're connecting with the divine, with source, that knows that all things are possible and knows that you don't have to ask for permission, that you don't have to ask for approval or for someone to buy into your idea or concept or decision, that you can do it. This description is beautiful. You have a knack for knowing what's going to work. Make it happen. Let your magic come out. Identify it through your truth. Bring it forth into the world. All right, everybody. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful day.